Hey AD, I'm Amylee. Oh hey Vogue. What the fuck's up, MTV Cribs? Alright, let's go. Let's get in here. Hello, I am moving in less than 12 days. So before I leave, I just wanted to show you one last loft tour. I live in downtown LA. So we're in my entryway, and if you're wondering why the doors look like this, it's because I live in a historic building, but it used to be an old train station in the early 1900s. And I'm assuming that these were offices, and then they changed into live work offices now. So right when we get in, we have shoes. And these are all my sneakers and my everyday shoes. I have a lot of Vans, so these are one of my favorite. These are custom. I made these on the Vans website. They're vintage Tommy Hilfiger. I swear my mom wore a pair of these shoes in the early 90s. I have a scooter because when I used to live in Koreatown, I didn't have a parking garage, so I had to park in the Bank of Korea, and it was quite far. So to get there a little bit faster, I got this guy. And this is my coat closet. And ironically enough, even though I'm from LA and I live in LA and never really gets that cold, I love jackets. I think outerwear is like one of my favorite pieces. I love jackets and accessories. This is one of my favorite pieces. This is a vintage like leather trench with a little belt, and it's faux snakeskin. If I were a cartoon character, I would 100% wear a moto jacket, and this is just a boxy cropped vintage leather jacket. I got it from Squaresville in Hollywood, Los Feliz. Very, very structured. It makes me look like I have the biggest, widest shoulders, which is totally what I'm going for. When I moved into here, they did not have an in-unit dryer washer, but the whole building had undergone a almost like month renovation, and I had 10 construction workers in my place for about 3 weeks, just going in and out, building this wall and building all the plumbing. So I have my own, this is the most luxurious thing I've ever had, but in-unit dryer washer, which is really nice. I'm gonna be so sad to leave this. And then, then to my left, we have the kitchen. And I love it because it has this island. It actually moves. People are always so shocked when it moves when they come over. You can actually lock it. And I have 3 mid-century modern bar stools from Rogue Concept. I do spend a lot of time in the kitchen, and over here we have the 2 most used appliances besides the stove, of course. That is my beloved air fryer and my Vitamix, which I actually got off Facebook Marketplace. It was probably used once or twice, it looked like, and it's such a steal. You know, I use it for all my kale smoothies. Oh, I recently got, I'm a huge lover of sundubu, which is like Korean tofu soup, and I got a BCD pot. Shout out all my Koreans. Makes my sundubu and all my jigaes taste way better. Thanks mom, my mom got it for me. So this is a hand-printed risograph, and it was a part of Diego's fundraiser for Black Trans Life. No one print is like the other, so all of them are super unique, and there were only 100 made. Up here I have all of my current bags that I have on rotation, so I'll just like switch them out, and these are the ones I don't put in storage. So first we have Prada Re-Edition. I don't know, it's a nylon bag, but this shit was so expensive. And I have always loved bags since I was little. Since I was like 10 years old, the first designer bag I ever bought for myself was those mini Coach pink, it was like a wristlet clutch, but also a little mini bag. I think it was like $140 at the time, and I saved up for weeks and weeks on end with my small allowance, and I bought that bag. And then I wish I saved it because it is honestly back in style now, and also it's just so iconic and sentimental, but I definitely donated it. And then a year after that, when I went into like 7th grade, I saw a picture of a Dooney & Bourke bag. It was a denim bag with 2 shoulders or 2 strap handles, and I was doing creative visualization and manifestation before I even knew what that was, because I cut it out of a magazine and I literally just kept it in my wallet every single day till it got worn and torn. The picture premature and faded until I finally got the money to buy that bag. I remember I got all my Christmas money and all of the allowance I saved, and I finally bought that bag. And that was my second designer bag. So I've always had a huge love for designer bags. I think there's something about just adding a little bag onto your shoulder that adds so much sass and confidence to kind of pay homage to that Coach bag. I got this off Depop. It's a Louis Vuitton mini handbag, and it reminds me so much of the Coach one, and it's kind of just like an updated adult version. It's a pink patent leather. This is one of my dream backpacks since I was like 15. This is probably my favorite Chanel bag. I don't have too many, but this is an iconic denim distress and the same color of my hair. It is super big though. And then on my bar stool, coming back over here, I keep the bags that I'm actually wearing. So I'm switching off between, this is the Dior saddlebag, which is amazing quality, but probably one of the most expensive bags I own. And then this one I recently got, and I call it my Hubba Bubba bag because it reminds me of a piece of bubble gum. I got this from Depop recently, and it was only like $15, and I just think it's so cute. I love the shape. I love how hard it is. I love the color. This mirror is from IKEA, and my sister-in-law was actually about to throw it out when she was moving. On it, I just put, I am enough. I am a good person with an Expo marker because I'm taking a self-development or spirituality course, and one of the homework assignments is to do that. Feeling like a good person or feeling like a bad person is something I do struggle with. I think we all do, feeling inadequate and stuff like that. And I used to feel embarrassed or kind of like ashamed of talking about these things, but I realized that all of us are dealing with so much because we live in a society that profits off of our self-doubt and our self-loathing. So I'm just really unapologetic about my journey to healing now. So that's what I have on there, and I saw a couple people put this on their mirror, and I think that's awesome. I have my styling rack, and this is just where I keep all my clothes that I have yet to style or incorporate into my closet fully. I think like 3 or 4 years ago, a brand named Bolkea reached out to me, and they wanted to send me a few furniture pieces. So this is from Bolkea. This is one of the books that I got gifted by a friend, and it is Lauren Greenfield's Generation Wealth, and she's an American photographer, and she has a lot of crazy photos in here documenting just the socialite life and just Beverly Hills. This is one of my favorite photographers from the Bauhaus movement, Laszlo Moholy-Nagy, and my ex-boyfriend actually got this for me for Christmas. Tarot decks, because I've been trying to read tarot a lot more. I also have the Rider-Waite tarot deck. This bookend is one of my favorite finds. I got this at the Rosewell Flea Market, and I think it was only like $10, but it's the perfect bookend because it's really, really heavy, and I love the color. Also, the shape of it reminds me of the Henri Matisse I have hanging over there. A while ago, Chanel invited me to one of their beauty events, and this was actually their invitation. I don't know what these are called, but it just reminded me so much of my childhood, and I thought it was so cool. I could not throw it away. So when you look inside, you can see all the details of the event. So I just have that. This is my living room. This is probably the space I spend the most time in. I have this big rug and this mid-century modern teal velvet couch, and it is so big and so comfortable for actually sleeping on it, from Rove Concepts, and they were kind enough to give me a lot of pieces when I first moved in here. So thank you so much, Rove Concepts. It's a very high quality couch. I really recommend it. I've already sold it to Raynalyn because I unfortunately won't be able to have such a large couch in my new place. I know that there are a lot of YouTubers and just young creatives in general on the internet that live in these downtown LA lofts, and it's really nothing new. But for me, downtown and living in this loft means a lot because just growing up lower middle class and also coming from a single income household where my Asian immigrant mother was the sole breadwinner, this is crazy. Like to be able to live here at 24 to 26, I have so much deep gratitude for everything, and of course like none of this would be possible without your support and without you watching my videos, so thank you so much. But not a day or a moment goes by where I am not thinking about that, just because, like, what? It's just so crazy. Many days and nights crying on this very rug, thinking about the meaning of life, and also just having deep reverence for life itself, because what the heck, so confused. And I also usually have my gravity blanket or my weighted blanket. I got this at the beginning of the pandemic because I do have a lot of anxiety, and if you are someone who suffers from anxiety or deals with anxiety, I highly recommend this because it just feels like a giant hug. We call this the therapy chair because many of my friends have sat here telling me all their problems. This is from IKEA, as well as, oh, the concrete tables from IKEA too. And then this house stock blanket is from Restoration Hardware. This is where Komi spends most of her time. And then I just have a meditation block here. One of the biggest reasons why I wanted to live in a loft was not only the high ceilings, but also the ginormous, gargantuan windows. And this one just opens up right away. There's no screen, so you can just come out. I bought some bubbles the other day. Right outside my window though, I live in historic core, so when you open my window, you can see that the entire street is actually Skid Row. And for me, I've always enjoyed kind of the smallness and the anonymity that living in a big city can make you feel. But it does get very, very loud. I live on top of a lot of bars. The bar loudness never really bothered me, but there are extremely loud signs of trauma during the night. And I'm a pretty heavy sleeper, but these are just really crazy loud screams for help and bottles shattering and just like people just sounding like they're in so much pain. And although with all the systems, I've always known that there's such the disparity here is just so apparent that you cannot deny how inextricably woven we are together. And for me, it serves, living by Skid Row serves as a really, really heavy and important reminder that there is so much healing and work to be done in this world. The unhoused population on Skid Row is predominantly people of color, and not only people of color, but people of color with really heavy and apparent mental health conditions and illnesses, as you see when you interact with them, because you know they're all over the neighborhood. So when it's outside of your window and the disparity is so apparent, you just cannot ignore the workings of this world. So I don't know why this got so deep all of a sudden, but this is literally how I'm thinking all the time when I look out my window. Whew, that was really heavy. Okay, so this is an Audrey Matisse print, and I actually just got this off eBay or Amazon for like $20, and I found a really cheap plasticky frame, and I just cut it and framed it in. It's like the cheapest $40 DIY. Fun fact, this is the first time I've ever had an office or a desk. I've always edited in bed or on my kitchen table, so this is really nice. I got this Herman Miller chair, which retails for about $700. It's ergonomically designed. I think this is the Sayl chair, but I got this off Facebook Marketplace for around $200. Facebook Marketplace is one of my favorite places to find high quality items for a fraction of the price. My desk is from Wayfair, and my rug is a hand woven rug from the Zapotec people in Oaxaca. Hopefully I'm saying that right, and I love it because it has a very personal element to it. And a huge shout out to Poppy because she sent me these amazing illustrations of me and Diego, and look how cool we look. Like, I'm just, thank you so much. And she also even sent me a couple of stickers where she also drew me, and I had to put on my laptop. And I just have a couple books here. This is Angela Y. Davis, Freedom is a Constant Struggle. I just got this yesterday from Mahogany Books, which is a Black-owned bookstore. It took a long time to get here, but it's here now. And then this is Femme in Public by Alok, who is a non-binary performance artist and writer and just everything amazing. This vanity desk is from West Elm, vintage gold mirror tray that I've always put jewelry and lipsticks on. I've had it for about, I think, like 7 years because I thrifted it first in college when I was 19 at the Roseville Flea Market. It was only $8, so I highly recommend thrifting that. And then my dresser is from Rove Concepts, as well as my platform bed. Got this little wooden planter stand from Etsy, and it's from a small business, and what I like about it is that it's actually adjustable, so you can adjust the width. This is the main and only closet that I really have, and I actually don't have too much in here. It's more like a storage closet, but I have a little bit of clothes here. Not anything too exciting in here. I showed you all the cool pieces. I remember I saw an MTV Cribs episode where Shaq showed his bed, and it was a 13 by 13 bed. It was a massive bed, and granted he's like way taller than me. I'm 5'6", but I remember when I was younger I said, when I have the money and I will know I have made it when I have a Shaq sized bed. And this is a king bed. This is probably one of my best purchases as a young adult, especially because even though Komi is like a small dog, she's 15 pounds, she takes up all of the bed. So I always say like the west wing is mine and the east wing is hers. My quarantine book reading list. The thing about me is I typically have to read multiple books at once. I can't just stick to one book. These are all the books that I'm currently reading. I'm like 5 chapters in deep in all of them. But if I were to recommend you anything that I'm reading, I would recommend The Body Keeps the Score. And this is a book on how the body holds trauma. The 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership. The Secret, which is a super quick and easy read. Something I struggle with obviously is self-love, and as we all do. And a psychic told me to, if I had rose quartz crystals, put them under my pillow or near my bed just so I can recharge. So I have this. We have a pretty standard bathroom. I always get a lot of questions about my shower curtain, and it's from Society 6. It's a bunch of boobies, but it would be cooler and more body inclusive if there were different nipple sizes and different boob shapes, because I have small boobs and big nipples. I have a few posters here, and I got these a couple years ago, maybe 4 years ago in Berkeley at an independent bookstore, and the illustrations are actually done by another artist, but the writing of this one is by Zoe Leonard, and someone actually tagged in my Instagram, but I don't remember who it was, and they were both free. But ironically enough, almost 4 years later, this piece is just so telling of the current political climate. And here, let me read you some. It goes, I want a for president, I want a person with AIDS for president, and I want a for vice president, and I want someone with no health insurance, and I want someone who grew up in a place where the earth is so saturated with toxic waste that they didn't have a choice about getting leukemia. I want a president that had an abortion at 16, and I want a candidate who isn't the lessers of two evils. And then at the end it says, I want to know why we started learning somewhere down the line that a president is always a clown, always a John and never a hooker, always a boss and never a worker, always a liar, always a thief and never caught. Zoe Leonard, 1992. And then I have a bunch of, I used to keep photos up in my wall, but I have a bunch of letters from my friend, and it's just a good affirming self-esteem booster. And this is my news poster. It says no justice, no peace, and I got it at one of the protests I recently went to. A girl just came up to me and asked me if I wanted a poster, and I was like, yes. So if I could do any revision to this one poster though, it would be no justice with KNOW and no peace, because words create your reality, and I really do wish that we we'll find peace and we'll find justice. I'm gonna miss my bathtub so much because I'm a huge bath enthusiast. And again, my affirmations: I am enough, I'm a good person. Just a few reminders. Yeah, so that was it. That was my apartment tour. Thank you so much for watching. Also, do you guys like my shirt? I got this shirt from a small design house in the UK, and they were doing a limited quantity of screen prints of this design for the Black Lives Matter movement and George Floyd, and all of the proceeds went to organizations and foundations that would help the movement. And I just got it yesterday, and I love the design. Anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And I'm very sentimentally attached to this loft. I feel like this was the first place in my life that felt like my own and that felt like home, and it was a really fun 2 years. But I think it's just, I need a change of pace or change of scenery for sure. And yeah, I feel like when I came into this place at 24, I was super lost, insecure, not confident, and had no idea just like what I was doing. And I feel like now I'm a lot more clear-headed and a lot more driven in a different way, and I've definitely evolved and transformed in this place. So it's just a lot, and I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna be very, very emotional on the day that I actually do have to leave. So yeah, thank you so much. I will see you guys in my next one, and to a new chapter.